What is up, guys? How you doing? This is Sean Adetunji. Welcome to another episode of The Scoop. Now, big shout out to all those who have been watching the other episodes, all those who have been giving thumbs up, all those who keep viewing week in, week out. This week, if you're new to the show, I'll be doing it like I do it regularly and telling you all the trending events that have been happening over the past week. Covfefe. I don't usually start with international affairs or international news, but this one was a big deal, and it's a word that was trending the past few days, and in fact, somehow it's still trending in some places. What is this word and what is it about? Some days ago, around 12 in the middle of the night, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was tweeting out like he does regularly and airing his own opinion. He wrote, "Despite the negative press, Covfefe." A lot of people think it's a typo. It's definitely a typo, but Donald Trump was trying to be smart about it. He released a follow-up tweet saying who can figure out the meaning of the word. According to a lot of foreign analysts, what he was trying to say really is despite the negative press coverage. But they decided to make a big deal out of it. It's obvious a lot of people don't exactly like this guy as the president, and a lot of people took that word and made all sorts of memes and interesting things out of it. A lot of people, Americans, were especially upset about the fact that their president was tweeting in the middle of the night. Coming down here to Nigeria, I don't think that's something we would mind. If our president could tweet at us here in Nigeria a lot in the middle of the night, we would not mind, because at least we'll know what's up with him. Most of the time that he tweets or releases information on the internet, they're always well crafted by his many special advisors on media and old media and new media. If our president could tweet at us as genuinely as President Trump does, I think it would be something very amazing and something we would enjoy down here. Speaking about President Buhari, an image came out on the internet recently where somebody who appeared to be him was spotted on a bus. Now the caption on the image was, "Buhari's on my bus in London." A lot of people have come to just say that no, it was a photoshopped image, and some people said that that photo was from a BRT bus in Lagos and it's not really Buhari who was a bus in London. Now I don't think the president of a nation as large as Nigeria will be spotted just sitting down by himself in the UK, especially when the pro-Biafra agitators had a big day coming up. The general idea for the pro-Biafra agitators is they are trying to get the republic without violence, but there are a few individuals amongst them who have shown tendencies of, taking up violence possibly to get what they want. So just seeing the president by himself, that's very unlikely to happen. A place where there have been protests in the past concerning, getting freedom for the Biafra nation. Speaking about Biafra at 50, there was celebration galore across the country with Igbo people and pro-Biafra sympathizers celebrating and just having a great time, really remembering all their fallen heroes and past heroes from the war that happened several years ago. One key thing about that day is that it showed the influence of Nnamdi Kanu right now. Nnamdi Kanu just started out as the director of a radio station. I mean, what's the big deal? Just the director of the radio station. Over time, he has become someone with a lot of influence. On the day they were celebrating this Biafra at 50, which is 30th of May, a few days ago, there was a huge shutdown in the entire southeastern part of the country. People didn't go out. Even at Aba, which is considered to be one of the most industrious parts of the country and the Japan of Africa, there was complete shutdown because IPOB said there should be a sit-at-home order. It just goes to show that one man from a radio station has now transitioned into someone who can shut down an entire geopolitical zone. It wasn't just celebrations galore over there in southeastern part of the country. I was able to catch up with some of the Igbo traders and pro-Biafra agitators here in Lagos, and they were celebrating, drinking at their markets here in the city of Lagos. A Nigerian lawmaker was kidnapped and he was released right afterwards. No harm done to him, and now he's at home with his family members. Now, while he was kidnapped, his southeastern mates in the House of Reps were having an issue passing a bill, the Southeast Development Commission bill. This bill is supposed to be like the Niger Delta Development Bill, which was passed in 2000. It was supposed to be sort of a follow-up to the Northeast Development Bill, which was passed in 2016. Just a way of saying, hey, you know what, the southeastern part of the country is marginalized. There should be more resources going there so that we can develop the place and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, they had a difficult time passing that bill. Some lawmakers came out to air their views and share their opinions on why, and some people said that, oh, the reason is that the southeastern guys have sort of built a wall between themselves and all the other House of Rep members from the other geopolitical zones, and they don't relate well with the other people, and they don't have enough numbers to carry out their own plans, and then just force that bill, that they need to go back and then do some sort of consultation to see if they can actually get that bill to fly. But the point is this: why are we having all these development commissions in various geopolitical zones? Is that an attempt at some sort of true federalism, which a lot of people have been clamoring for over time? We don't know. I don't know. But the point is this: what are they trying to achieve with this Southeast Development Commission? The Niger Delta already has a development commission which covers some states in the southeast already. The Northeast already has a development commission. If somehow this Southeast Development Commission is able to go through, do we now get the Southwest Development Commission, the Northwest Development, North Central? What? what then happens? That's the big question. And then why do we have to get all these development commissions when the governments are there? What are the governors doing? What are the governments doing if we need all these commissions? If it's an attempt at getting some sort of true federalism, which was one of the points of one of the lawmakers actually, then it's a good idea. But if it's not, if it's just an attempt to get possibly funding to fight for the Biafra cause, considering the fact that the bill came out at the time when they were celebrating the Biafra 50 Remembrance Day and all that, then it becomes very fishy. And that's one of the reasons why that bill did not fly. We all love the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. You know, that guy is he's just an amazing man. He always has something interesting to tell us wherever a mic is put to his face. And he did so very recently. He was at a radio station in Abuja and they were asking him why the president decided to go to the UK for medical treatment. Especially when during the campaign, the APC said they were going to bar public officials from going on all these foreign trips for treatments and they were going to be getting their treatment here. Well, the minister said that Buhari, the president, is our father, is our leader, and he deserves the best medical care and medical attention possible. That's why he ditched Nigerian hospitals for UK hospitals. Nobody is disputing the fact that the president is the leader of the nation. Nobody is disputing the fact that he's our father. But the problem is this: he was called to serve. If you're called to serve, are you not supposed to cede the best benefits to the people who you've been called to serve? I mean, why should you be the one to take the best benefits just because you're in that leadership position, which quote unquote is where you're supposed to serve the people who put you there? I feel the Nigerian masses should be the ones to get the best benefits. Why doesn't the government start flying out the Nigerian people over to the UK to get medical treatment instead of trying to get the president who has been called to serve to get the best treatment? It just doesn't add up. It's very contradictory to the whole purpose, to the whole message of democracy and government of people for the people by the people. That said, that wasn't all he came out to say. When asked why the government sometimes doesn't obey the rule of law, and when a court has put out an order possibly for someone to be released from jail, the person is still held back. He said there has to be a balance between national security and the rule of law. I don't get that. How do you now check that balance? What is that balance exactly? Because if you say there should be a balance between national security and the rule of law, the problem is, how do you check that? Aren't you supposed to check that by the rule of law? So if you flout the rule of law just so that you can protect national security, then what's the point of the rule of law? Dino Melaye is always in the news. Almost every week, something is going on. If he's not posting a picture of a nice ride that he owns or a fancy outfit he's in or trying to drop a new track, he'll just be in the news for one thing or the other. This time around, he's in the news for a bribery scandal. Sahara Reporter has released an audio tape that sort of, we can't really say it was Dino Melaye, but there was a man who was talking to a woman. The man is supposed to be Dino Melaye and the woman is supposed to be a judge. The idea or the way the message was put out by Sahara Reporters is that it was Dino Melaye trying to bribe a certain judge. Dino Melaye came out to say, you know what, this is complete falsehood. It's not true. I didn't bribe anybody. That case is done and dusted and I'm over with it. Basically went on to say that the publisher of Sahara Reporters will eventually go to jail for that. Okay, taking another quick trip outside the country, this time to Zimbabwe. A Zimbabwean pastor called God on his mobile phone. Yes, he did. He didn't do it privately, he did it in church during a deliverance ceremony. The church was packed with a lot of people. Zimbabwe is said to have the highest literacy rate in Africa. It means the adults are educated. That means a lot of people in that church were educated. But their pastor called God on his mobile phone and was performing a miracle. If the people in Zimbabwe are the most educated set of adults in Africa, then what happens to the rest of us in Africa? We are doomed. Anyways, this is just ridiculous. The things that happen these days, especially with pastors and God, if I was God, anyways, Baba God, just no vex. Because a lot of rubbish goes on. How do you call God? First of all, what network does God use? Coming back to Nigeria, a video came out online of a university graduate who clowns at a local bar for money. Check out the video. I see this guy as industrious. I don't blame him for doing this. If there are no jobs, if you can't get jobs, then you have to do whatever you need to get money and make some cash for yourself. Remember to keep fighting, stay true to yourself, and don't give up, especially if you're unemployed. Okay, there will always be better days ahead for you. Thank you very much for watching The Scoop. My name is Sean Adis, and you hit the subscribe button down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, and until I come again next week, ensure you have a great day.